Hello and welcome and hello, guys. Feeling even a little bit worse than before, but I'd had a chance to watch some commentary, read some stuff, read through the ER, listen to the earnings call, and I recruited a substitute, little Danny Cornbread DiCarlo, to come in. He generally wears a pith helmet and thick army glasses, so he is I and I am he, but going to keep this one really quick. Again, I know I always say that, but I'm actually telling the truth today because I'm just going to lose my voice and just not feeling well. But so the stock traded all the way down to 977. Wouldn't say traded down, but was just bludgeoned down there. Now this was a preloaded sell-off, guys. This was not anyone where, market makers looked at this ER with the incredible growth, beats on top and bottom line, guidance raise, strong triple beat, and just said, hey, we're going to sell off the stock, 13% or whatever it was. Preloaded sell-off. This happens with SoFi all the time. If you looked at the options, looked at Max Payne, not entirely unexpected. Now, I think what's kicking the shorts and the bears in both balls is the earnings report was incredibly good and management was incredibly positive in terms of their outlook. So now what's happening is, they tried to suck some people in pre-market, sold the thing off. Retail investors are scared. The stock just came off $6-7. So why would it be terrifying to dip down into the nines? I think a lot of us really saw this coming. I bought the dip pretty heavily in the 980s. It's not that I need more shares, but I always want more shares. This earnings report just solidified in my mind that SoFi is never going to lose money again for the foreseeable future unless something highly unexpected happens. It's going to get S&P 500 inclusion. It's going to go way up, $25, $35. More and more of the top line gets to the bottom line. There was like three critical trends just to keep your eye on very, very quickly. Number one was defaults, and even delinquencies were trending down. So everything, the bologna sandwich talked about with regard to fair value accounting to get to his ludicrous $4, whatever you want to call that, dog cow patty, it relies upon defaults increasing. Okay. So if the opposite is happening, the opposite is going to trend for SoFi, because fair value accounting helps tremendously with your bottom line when you're originating a lot of personal loans, which SoFi is right now. So that's reversing. The second trend is just growth. I mean, they're putting a multiple on the company, CAGR growth rate 15-16%, growth rate year on year is 30%. It'll be even faster next year. This 25 cents EPS next year, it's absolute garbage. These guys know it. The SPAC price was 10. You could have just bought under that today. Market makers are wringing this thing out, but shorts have nowhere to go. Why would longs dump here? Retail isn't dumping, and institutional longs are buying. I mean, you can see it in the filings. Vanguard, nothing going down. I don't know, Pinnacle Associates sold out, but there's a couple big buys here. Davenport increased, 3,700% to 2 million shares. All these Schwab funds, they're all averaging up 11% increase. If you go down to, and there's some companies selling out, but if you go down, you start looking at the bigger ETFs, the bigger mutual funds, they're all averaging up. Raymond James up, the bigger names. Now, some of these smaller, Tempus Wealth, US Capital Wealth, I don't know. I don't even know who these guys are. But if you start to look at, some of the bigger fish, International Assets increased 1,100%. I don't even know who that is either. I don't know who anybody is. I'm basically a big idiot. But so that's the trend. Growth at 30%. That's going to accelerate. Membership is strong. Everything looked very, very strong besides tech accounts. We have to trust the process on that one. but nothing the bears are throwing at this company, the shorts are throwing at this company, makes any sense. So, I always say they manipulate the starting line on SoFi so they can manipulate the finish line. Usually that means they started out really low, so it pops 20%. Everybody and time again. But those of us that are left are really battle hardened. We're not putting in stop losses. We're holding our shares. We're like Piyush. We're taking the opportunity to buy all the dips. And I think on a day like today, I think this completely backfired on them. Yes, they might have been happy, the institutions that were accumulating shares for this exact purpose. It might have worked in the short term for them, but I don't think there's much payoff here. I think retail is very wily, like a coyote. Companies selling out as we speak, but the volume is too much. Like, it's overwhelming what they're trying to do. You can see the algo trying to, push this thing down further, but it's just not working. Like, the volume is really, really strong. I mean, still 5,000, 10,000 shares per tick, 4,000. I mean, it's really, really hard to dump this many shares, 100 million shares or something, to step on the stock. Let me just get you guys a quick look at the live short interest. I'm going to get the heck out of here. I'm just not feeling really well. But I don't see any. This is all mechanics. This was all preloaded. That's all I wanted to say. If that's not obvious to you, I mean, the same market makers run it up pre-market and then dump it down into the nines. And they're borrowing, 2.4 million shares today. Not an extraordinary amount, but I think that'll go up as the data trickles in. But I don't think you can hold this here. I think this pushes up. It's exactly kind of what we said would happen, or suspected might happen. I didn't know what was going to happen, but we suspected might happen was, the options are saying a little bit of a push down right after the ER. Then there's often that delayed fuse, and I think the stock will go back up. But I'm a fat man wearing a pith helmet, so take everything with a big pinch of salt, if you know what I mean. Anyway, hello and welcome and hello. We got Champy upgrades coming up. You'd think that, Champ, but often that doesn't happen. SoFi can turn in some pretty big things, make some pretty big deals, really positive catalysts that for if that happened to Palantir, the stock would just double. If it happened to Upstart, they would give the CEO the key to the city, solid gold pacifier or whatever. But to a certain extent with SoFi, the numbers don't matter. The performance doesn't matter. The mechanics have been on this stock since the get-go. Since the very, very start. They've just latched onto this thing. They've had a hard on for it. And I believe retail's punishing them today. I believe retail bought the hell out of that dip in the nines. And I think shorts and bears are screwed. I don't think it matters if they trot out, the bologna sandwich, the chia pet to make some ludicrous argument about why, defaults trending down and delinquencies being down and SoFi's loan book are actually bad because they're going to make too much profit. And then they have to decide what to do with all that profit. Are they going to grow? What do you do with it? Do you put it in the bank? I mean, come on. Anthony Noto's going to be overwhelmed. All that profit, it's a problem. And what about the legalese at the end of the earnings report? If everything goes wrong, they'll need to raise more money. I mean, come on, guys. Come on, Brennan. Canadians are punching in the air. SoFi finding a new floor. I don't know. Open interest 10 puts, 89K. Calls are 44. It'll stay above 10. I mean, it's going to stay above 10 based on the strength of the fundamentals, based on the earnings, based on the expectations for earnings going forward, throughout this decade, based on the other important trend I would just want to comment on is that fee-based income's much, much higher than anybody expected. I think not income, but revenue. As that scales, that's gonna have a huge impact on the bottom line, because they're basically saying, hey, we're leveraging our brand, we're leveraging our know-how. It's all stuff we've paid for already. There's not much cost that goes into setting this stuff up. And, these are loans that SoFi was not going to underwrite anyway. It's just free money, high margin money. So again, this sell-off, it doesn't make sense, but it does make sense because they programmed their computers last night. They took all their pills, knocked themselves out, and then woke up and they're like, oh, record revenue, member growth, whatever. Hit the button, sell it off, $1, whatever, $1.50. And then they're like, retail will cower and flee. Like, no, retail bought the nines. Nothing. I don't think any of this worked. I don't really get what they're trying to do here. What are they trying to sell us? What kind of bill of goods? What kind of bullshit are they trying to sell us? That, okay, you can say, yeah, tech was weak. No problem. But overall, the company is absolutely crushing it. Look at this rate of growth. This company's growing, faster than any of these other companies that get incredible multiples, dollar for dollar. Oh, it's just a bank. But what kind of bank's growing 30%? What kind of bank, year over year on EPS has this kind of tectonic shift? Think about the multiple. The EPS trajectory should give you a multiple. The fee-based income should give you a multiple. S&P 500, it's coming, guys. Don't be fooled. This is a Fugazi nonsense desperation by these shorts. That's my opinion. Fugazi nonsense desperation. The algo can't hold it. I don't think it's going to go all the way back up today. Time will tell. Volume's obviously slowed down. But, just rest easy knowing the sell-off was not some kind of response that you don't understand to the ER. The sell-off was pre-programmed weeks ago. And that's what these hacks do. Because they're hacks. They're mechanics. They're not as smart as it seems. They just have a lot of money. They just bludgeon weak retail. But we're not as weak as we used to be. It's like J-Lo in that movie where the husband punched her. And then she got the ragtag band of friends from the diner together. I think they ended up killing the guy at the beach house or something. I can't really remember. Come here, Peter, I want to help you. The cook ends up, I don't know. I think maybe the cook got killed. I can't remember. It was enough. Oh, what a film. Anyway, guys, I got to take another round of cold medicine and knock myself out. But, we'll check back in. I'm going to study this thing a little bit more carefully. But again, the trend is your friend. Everything they're saying to hit this company, defaults, delinquencies, balance sheet concerns, rate of growth is falling down to 15%. It's all a big pack of lies. It's all a big pack of lies and nonsense designed to part you with your money and allow market makers to buy the shares at 6 after the thing is completely 100% de-risked. They want to get the payoff without riding the ride. They want to win without playing the game. Don't let them get away with it. It's like Ben Stone said in Law and Order. They got away with it once, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. Don't let him get away with it again. Don't dishonor the name, sister. Dude, Michael Moriarty was Law and Order. Sam Waterston, he's pretty good. Do you take me back to Greevy, Max Greevy? Come on, bro. Give me some, give me some fat guys in prominent roles. What's going on? One of these guys like a John Goodman, he loses a ton of weight. What are you going to do? We lose one of our brothers. We lose one of our brothers in big. And then we kind of drop like flies because, you know, carrying around a lot of extra weight's tough on the old heart, tough on the old ticker. Lost, you know, Piyush's favorite, my favorite, John Candy. Rest in peace. Again, I don't know what this has to do with SoFi back, guys, but we're going to pass 110 million shares. I think the stock's going to go back up. I don't know where it's going to close. I would guess somewhere over 1050, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure about anything. But what I'm sure about is this was a really, really, really strong ER. All the trends that really matter are going up. Now, I said yesterday Galileo matters a lot, and that's true. But I still think Galileo is going to be just fine in the next couple of years. This wasn't Galileo's year, and that's okay. You don't get everything. You don't get everything. You know, this ER gave us our cake. We ate it too. We got a beautiful present. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what the market wants to give a multiple that makes sense to this company. But like I said, they've had a hard on for it since it went public. But I've said EPS cures all things. And this company's just starting to make a lot of money. And it's going to accelerate really rapidly. And I think the stock price will go up correspondingly. Let's see. Shakeout alert. Buy and forget. Steadily growing. Good out. Yeah, it's just growing and growing and growing. Anthony, insane morning. Chad up 68%. Right, all came destroyed. One for the like coverage of SoFi. Thanks, Oleg. Appreciate you, man. Guys, again, I'm going to run. Not feeling super well, but, you know, think about it. Defaults down. Fair value accounting helps. All these originations in 2025 going to spike the books. Growth, 30%, not 15%. Facts over FUD. I mean, look at the reality, guys. I keep saying the bulls will continuously cite the data, look at the ER, and the bears are just going to throw a bunch of feces at the wall like a monkey. Stick their finger up their butt and scratch their nose. That's a level of intellect you're dealing with the sell-off this morning. It's like, you know, people that just hit themselves in the crotch with a hammer for fun. Not like Steve-O where there's a camera there and somebody's like compensating you. Anyway, guys, it's a SoFi stock. It's un poco más. It's down 7%, 80 cents, but it's up to 1040 off of 977. So to say that there's been extreme volatility and extreme shenanigans is a huge, huge understatement. Stay tuned. We're trending upward at a nice angle despite that one little peak, and I think it's going to continue to do so. This was all preloaded, trying to accumulate and cover at the best possible prices. But again, we'll check back in with you later. It's little Danny Cornbread DeCarlo, DJ Patchy Drizzle, idiotic nicknames. We're also available to make up just completely idiotic nicknames. It's un poco más. We'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you so much. It's been just lovely.